Jujim Dodang
Ralin Shini
Jambaji
Sange Shindo Mite Boulevard Chogananda Shinla Chebara Sho Guru Ratna Mandala Kamniya Layami Zabachunit. Zabachuni could have.
I don't want to come to do that. And so I did the genius.
So what did Gewa Momber Kewata Gandene Supporta Sunsujutan
Tajimali.
Ale Mita doing the meta. She
will not rush you out. I'm without doing that. And I again. I think I had a class says what they. Nimesunen amdo mes. Harote. Call su call. When you would send us at the order that have to mend down. She lam la raju para to mend the Lundin Jewish kind in it. She will long la raju pass. She will long la raju para to mend the Lundin Jewish. Kind and Tanita. Nangi comes to Suji comes into said that I didn't get lying, but last said, and there was the law in something to do. Did one,
verse 58. Verse 58. To those who have entered the path that leads to the egoistic quiescence, peace, and think they have attained the true nirvana, he teaches about the true essence of the elements, the suchness of phenomena, as in the white lotus of the highest doctrine.
No, that is what I did not say. Jitan Shivilam Raju, but out to men that Lundin Jews. Kayetian, Zinitane, then Nanga Sus, Nangi Suchi Suji comes into Ranju Namji Tamjeji, Sanjani Kanjoba, Chodunyang and Desame, Kazum Soso Dajova, Teas of Dani Chambo Namji Che. Suji Ranshin, Sobu Kusum Target, Tela Sanjan Namji Ni, Satepatula.
A highest doctrine, he diverts them, and thus from their selfish desires, and using this highest wisdom and skill, converts them to the teaching of the highest vehicle and prophesies supreme enlightenment for them, profound, displaying manifold power and guiding the ordinary beings, making his aim their will. The Buddha is known in these three forms respectively as the profound and the magnanimous and the magnificent.
That has been called. That did ever change our mortgage.
So, just said the basic explanation of this is already. It's in the section of the way they guide the disciples. She was so in Mita Dunga Tameta, Shivita, Tachimbe, some Jesum Jetane, Yangandela of Jute, said the touching Chintache. So, the way they guide disciples is in the section verse 57 onwards. he perfectly knows the means of the conversion by teaching about evanescence, which is impermanence, uneasiness, which is suffering, and he creates aversion in living beings with regard to the three spheres of existence and directs them towards nirvana.
Oh yeah, then the castle. Tawakataji Chacha Shi said Tondo Shebi, Vijatamja Midaba, Sajatamja Tungawa, Chetamja Tonshi Dameba. Yangale Dewa Shiva Singentiki, Tawakatashi, Tajishua Nashi Cheni, Tambu Niwo Tegi, Midabata Dungawa Niga Tegi, Ane Kwagi, Kozuki Rimba. Samne, Koyan Mixam. Then, Castle, Chetamja Tonshi Dabatan, Young and Dewa Share, Gala, Call and Dobby Rimba, and it only Dovala then, Young Topzu, Denzing Bando, Yanda Topzu, then Gitawangata, Tawakata, Chacha, Shi, Gone, and the Tibachimbi region, Toma, Jutin, Lokowa in town, Tibachimbi region, Namjang, Toma Tibataba, Arshabataila.
So, through the means of teaching the four Buddhist seals, these four distinct Buddhist views that all compounded phenomena, impermanent, that everything that which is contaminated is suffering, that all phenomena are empty and therefore selfless, and that nirvana is peace. So the first two truths, the first two, that all phenomena are are impermanent, and everything that which is contaminated is suffering. Then talks about samsaric suffering, so how samsara is sustained, caused like this, and by reflecting on the shortcomings of samsara in this manner, then diverting themselves or reversing themselves from samsaric existence by reflecting on how phenomena are all empty and thereby selfless. The last two of those two seals, and that liberation is peace. And so it is by meditating on emptiness that one sort of reverses oneself from samsaric existence. Through this meditation on emptiness, then one gets rid of the grasping, the ignorance, grasping at true existence, and thereby enabling liberation. So how they guide disciples of the Mayan lineage is first by generating the inspiration of the middling scope, wishing to get out of samsara existence. First by cultivating middling scope incentives, and thereby leading, and thereby guiding them onto the Mahayana path.
Oh yeah, Tiba Chimbogi, Irjang Glaina, and a charge to some my giving arrow, music of my giving arrow, and it out Talashabana, Chani, any castle. You think a lot of going down to Gunkin, that Tabi Payala, and a castle, no Jampachi.
So therefore here, for those of the Mayan lineage, before they ever come to generate bodhicitta, before they generate compassion, they have to train themselves in the path of the middling scope, the path which is common to an individual of a middling capacity or intelligence, in which one reflects upon the failings and shortcomings of suffering and true origin, and sees the benefits and the advantages of liberation. So this has to be cultivated prior to being able to generate compassion and bodhicitta.
Oh yeah, that never meant this ring away enough. And the Tawakata Chachi Koyami Samni, 아니 내가 년도지를 인상 년도 자주 텐도니 되는 양가 년도지 자주야를 마시도 좀니 아니 가소래 팀명기 아니 누구냐 말을 씌워기 아니 두면 다지로 고마 터지 잡아 그봐 두수야 줘야래 그봐 내가 년도지를 가만히 대때네 토마 티바면 비냐데서 티바제도
So for those beings who are at that time of a hero's lineage, then by relying on the guidance of the 4 Buddhist seals or these 4 distinct Buddhist viewpoints, then actualizing the hero's enlightenment by cultivating themselves on the graduate stages of such a path, then attaining the total pacification of the suffering and true origin, and attaining the hero's arhatship. And then the next stanza, to those who have entered the path that leads to the egoistic quiescence, peace, and think they have attained the true nirvana, he teaches about the true essence of the elements, meaning the suchness of phenomena, as is the white lotus of the highest doctrine.
시위 남라 라슈바 세가나 다한테 년도 가사된죠 년도 람 그저봐야 저대 타르 안에 두기 시위 남라 랍도 슈바스 두기 시위 남라 랍도 슈바 타도 그냥데 삼에도 양알에 대와 다들 때서 전화 잡아 타도 그냥데 가제 타도 그냥데 동안 여러 시위 두기 여러 시위 양데들라 타도 그냥데 시거래 봐
So for those heroes of the heroes lineage who attain the ultimate liberation, here the ultimate liberation referring to the pacification of true suffering and true origin.
Oh, 대톱냠비가라 아니 양아래 대비 타도 그냥게 라도 쉬와 타도 그냥아래 대와 톱냠바기 그냥 년도 그저바 타도 그냥데 데레데 타도 그냥데 말아봐 인자 타도 그냥데 톱냠비 두세전 대다기 시비 인래 땅네 다 시비 인세가 차원도시 그동안 녀와 시비 아니 고바테라 다 냠바샤니 냠바샤바테라 땅네 안 잠시반목값이 또 가수 아니 체지 되니 고소용서 답에 땀 타도 티바지도 좀 수단 말에 사체랑 년도에 남지 저바 대잠지기 안에 타도 그 대바 토야 말에 다 특징이라 지우니 아니 가소래 타도 그 대바 누가 봐 인장 타도 대바제 토베시도 남라 로가 인장 다 대송고 말에
So such as these Shravaka or hero arhants who have thought that they have attained an ultimate liberation. It is not an ultimate liberation, but it is in the true sense of the word. But it is a complete liberation on the hero's path. In relation to a hero's vehicle, then it is an ultimate liberation, but it's not an ultimate liberation in the true sense of the word, because this is a liberation which is only a total pacification of the true suffering and true origin. So when such as these hero arhants then think that they have attained this kind of their own ultimate nirvana, then they remain in this kind of sphere of peace. This sphere of peace is just a cessation of the suffering of pervasive conditioning. So they have yet to achieve the ultimate vehicles. The ultimate vehicles, liberation, which is the Mayan enlightenment, and so from the teachings of the White Lotus Sutra and so forth, then as taught, teaching on the emptiness of the three spheres, then they are sort of awakened from that sphere, from that state of being in that sphere of peace, and made aware of the fact that that they have yet to achieve the ultimate liberation.
Oh yeah. 아니 거기 동안 영화를 시위 니시 공도 대래 공도 좀 미거와 좀바 대래 도대 아니 대 공기 아니 가서래 타도기 아니 안돼 토비치도 아니 티바치비 타다 셰라블라서와 땜배 아니 용수 숨에 아니 티바치비라라 민바자지 티바치비라라 야 두대 아니 라나면 바양다 버서 상제지 창두도 아니 룬담바 잡아래 세바래
so kind of they make this kind of prophecy that they have in which basically kind of reversing these the arhants from this state of pacification, pacification of samsaric existence. That whatever thought that they have about not having to progress any further from this state, then they are reversed from such a thought, and made aware of the fact with regards to attaining the ultimate liberation, and thereby making the prophecy of engaging in the method and the wisdom of the Mahayana path, and ultimately achieving the perfect and complete state of enlightenment.
Oh yeah. Tell a say, that you got the qualification. Qualification last. I say, don't change to learn that, but the Tangan led to this. Tadini, Dima, Jabba Chetu, and the Jabba Chadi said, that the Jadela, Tommy, I said, that intended in Yaranda, Tomne, only Tibachi Bilana Jueg, Tamdela, Yarang Tonlam Tomne, and Tibachi Bilana Jueg. 주사제야 티바치비 통람나 주야다 당보 통람나 미주 중개지다 통람나 중개지다 근데 같이 그때 받지 마 셴이 다 라누라 통람나 야 주고래 스타디준다 셰고가 대등아 로그메 디샤샤다.
Then the next part of the commentary goes on to say when at what level of the path the arhants, the hero arhants and the solitary realized arhants, when do they, at what stage of the path do they transfer to the Mahayana? So there are different versions. Some say that they engage from the Mahayana path of seeing onwards, and then there are some views saying that the hero and solitary realized arhants then begin from the path of accumulation, the Mahayana path of accumulation. So we're going to skip that section.
That's kawaii now. I think not that. The mark quite our quite leg in that time. No, Zawa Terre, time you did. Chanju Chodu, Lundendo, Tubachola meant that they Chanju to two dendo or chat. That didn't Sabdan Tuni Mizu that she will turn to the Tenchi. Did that Transi Sawa, the Jachatagani Sha said that to Tunduji by so take quite over that.
Can you call
Zawa this lesson?
Zawa Tanda,
that's our time, Madra.
Zawa
This is what Tubachella means that the Chanju Tuni. 창주초도 룬단도 스타다 얘기 전다지 양안대도 두세제 담제 빼막가라서 취지더니 땜바 인체 대당 안증 라도데스 다
디제
대칭사송아 대당 안증 라도
디치요 말해 디치요 말해
주어야 된다데 양안대도 디디와 섬전 양안대 담제 빼막가 취지 땜바 신송아 대당 안증 라데데 사데 치바레
Should finish the explanation for verse 59. It says, he diverts them thus from their selfish desires, and using his highest wisdom and skill, converts them to the teaching of highest vehicle, and prophesies a supreme enlightenment for them. So when we talk about, he diverts them from their selfish desires, means, kind of diverting them from the thought that after having attained the pacification of samsaric suffering, that there is nothing more to progress from that state. So diverting them from that selfish desire.
아니 가르소래 탑다시라 용수외 세가나 아니 티바치베 탑 인제당 향주그 셈당 셰라 돈이 됨 지심비 아니 셰라 돈이 도비 셰라 땜베 아니 대다 제수 용외 아니 티바침벌이야 지지 아니 나는 바양다버서 chan주들은 땜바자바레 어때체
and then using his highest wisdom, meaning, wisdom realizing emptiness, and the skill of bodhicitta, then he cares for them and converts them to the teaching of the highest vehicle, the Mayan vehicle, and prophesies their supreme enlightenment for them.
Oh, that is the Chayadela. Anayaran to teaching a Juedilla Jubilim by the Khan Juguaresana, Cholamni Jugure, the Dam. Yang teaching the Tolam and Juguredam, that did the Bambo Chash and Ranluna, Solemnia, Juguare, and Solemnia.
Ranglula, Solemna.
Teaching the Solemne, Yan Joria,
Ranglula.
Yarandajum top. Teaching the Solemne, Ranlula.
Okay. So then after this part comes in the commentary, the section as to when do those arhants, the solitary realized and hero arhants, where do they engage on the minor path? So in our system, we would say that they begin their engagement on the minor path from the path of accumulation onwards, stage by stage, and some have the view that they engage from the minor path of seeing. So.
돈이 또 무슨도 또 살래. 동안에는 얘란다 좀 고마더라와. 다들이야 전에 초람 근내가 없어. 담보네 초람도 중간 대기 산재주 고마토비치 초 아니 시선은 것보다 이시지 초가 쌓고 와대 사신바나 저남도 포. 아니 저남네 장 사두바 봐도 방자방요 말이 년주 방차를 봐. 다 소남 그 초들은 봐 진짜 산이 So, as explained in the past, that as arhants they have already the direct realization of emptiness. So, when they engage on the minor path of accumulation, then what is required of them is the completion of the accumulation of the merit. So, just like in the case of those individuals who from the very beginning engage on the minor path of accumulation, then they go out accumulating the two types of merit of virtue and merit of wisdom. So likewise these arhants then from in the path of accumulation,
they have to accumulate that required amount of merit, and when that is complete, then they progress to the to the path of preparation, and from the path of preparation up to the 7th level, then whatever accumulation of merit is required of them, then that has to be completed before they engage on the pure levels of the 8th bhumi. So, as with regards to the abandonment, that abandonment of afflictions, that is already finished, but it's only with respect to the accumulation of merit that that they have to traverse these paths to fulfill their requirement of merit, and then from the 8th level onwards, then begins the abandonment of the obscuration to omniscience.
Oh yeah, that the chetan dangama chekana, da yagi tendua said the sumba tendua di ra. Sumba tendua di yage jubiravi shevaki, tortamba java sheva tendua said there.
So and then now the section is on the summary.
This one, tendua di jubiravi sheva tila.
The summary of the manifestation.
Jubiraye Shabatella, Nivala Sum Chega, Kusumji Jubiraye, Tabi Chava, Sabi Chabacha, Tambotella, Samja Sumche, Tidene, Telayang, Nivala Sum Chile, Dotamba Java Shava, 20 seconds. This one.
So Ramchi just went through the the various outlines of this point of manifestation. So we are down to the summary.
Tadi Zawala Sadatuni Pinzota Chivi Tendi Rapchili. Did that Hashi Sawata Jajet Dani Cheshecha said it.
So this verse 60 is the summary. Profound, displaying manifold power and guiding the ordinary beings, making his aim their will. The Buddha is known in these 3 forms respectively as the profound and the vast and the magnificent.
Sabdan Tuni Pinzo Tang said it. Oh, Sabdan Tuni Pinzo Tang, Sigala, Sanjeji Chini Tang. Ani Sanjay Chuni Tela Tatu Nyamba Shabi Ani Shiji Chugu Daishi Chugu de Topa Kave Ani Sawatang.
So profound in respect to that, with respect to the the gnosis of the Dhammakaya, which is difficult to conceive, to realize or actualize. So in that way, profound.
Sanjay Chuni dan Terata Dunyamba Shabi, Ishi Chugu de Toba Kawane, Toba Kawa Inza Sawari.
So this gnosis of the Dhammakaya that is in constant equipoise, in a state of constant equipoise on the on the suchness of that Buddhahood. So this because this is difficult to comprehend, it is profound.
Sadang says Tili. That launches Zobuku. Ani Dujan Duala. Ani Tunazoba. Duja to be Tamnazoba, Tunazoba Dembana, Jacheva.
So
that is
this magnanimous refers to the quality of the enjoyment body. This enjoyment body, in order to subdue the disciples, or in order to benefit the disciples, then having great capacity, having a variety, having a vast capacity for subduing or benefiting disciples.
아니 소소 치와서나 소소 교 랑도 그냥 미셔와서니 치와 소소 교 남지 아니 삼바다 툼바 아니 두자랍도 두자 아니 콜라랍도 템바 제비 치나 아니 꾸심보티다 장신도 사와탕 세가라 아니 죽을수도 또바까베 사와탕 롱지 투단 덴베 자셔와탕 저와 아니 가서래 주보제 주고제 지휘삼바단 템바 두자라도 템 주고제 아니 가서래 잡당 그래서 지휘 전지 rabden지 장단 장시 사와단 자체탕 자체와 자체단이 시작해
And then the magnificent here, referring to the Nirmanakaya, the emanation body that ordinary sentient beings are directly able to perceive. These emanations. What is magnificent about them is that it's emanated in accordance with the disciples, predispositions and interests and so forth, and in accordance with their mind level and interests, so forth. Then, kind of delivering them from samsaric existence. These emanation bodies, these Nirmanakaya forms. So in that way, magnificence. So it is profound because the Dhammakaya is difficult to comprehend like that, and magnanimous because of the incredible capacity of the enjoyment body to subdue sentient beings. And the Nirmanakaya or emanation body being magnificent with regards to its emanation, being in accordance with sentient beings, or predispositions, interests, and so forth.
나 dine tambo chogu de chima tani sugu yin segala. 나 tambo sayu kude 돈이 무슨 도비 이시티 차인장 디 담보 돈이 무슨 도비 추구 산제 추구를 잡아이다 디 담보 추구래 디네 담보 추구대.
The first of this is the cosmical body, means the first of this is the Dhammakaya, the profound Dhammakaya body, the Dhammakaya, which is the direct realization of emptiness.
얘가 치마에 아니 가서 론지 조유고 투단 댐바인장 투단 댐바탕 아니 초고 주고디 치위 삼바단 튜바 도자랍도 잠바 아랍도 잠바인장 자체바 인장 치마니고지 수구제 세데라 니네 담보 치고디 치마단이 수주고.
And the latter two are the Rupakayas, the form bodies of the enjoyment body and the emanation and the emanation bodies, the Sambhokaya and the Nirmanakaya, because they are bodies that have these qualities of magnanimous, meaning great capacity for subduing disciples, and the magnificence of that in emanation body. So they are regarded as the latter two bodies that are form bodies.
아니 자왈 나갈라니 수내시 담볼라니 타만네 가서래서 나갈라니 수내시 담볼라니 타만네.
Yes. Just as visible matter abides in space, so are the latter two supported by the former.
이 가르래서나 나가기 랑기 고사를 숙제현 중 코쳐봐 인장 나가라 때는 아니 숙제현 요 중에 그 감이 그와레스 감년은 아니 숙제현 나와 대신도.
So just like how space allows for other forms to exist, space gives the room for other forms, other matter to exist within it.
추구대 도발라 때네 아니 론저 조유 구당 아니 가서래 초구 주구기 아니 수구는 내대 내대 아니 대신이 정말 타다기 다 봐나 아니 수주군이 고강해와 이거래.
So likewise then by attaining the Dhammakaya, the truth body, that is what allows for the arising of the two form bodies, the enjoyment body and the supreme emanation body. Supreme emanation body arises because of having because of having that Dhammakaya, which is the suchness free of defilements.
That is the chinsawache. That bagi yagi jubijela. I need the castle. Tapirabe said in Bata.
So the next is explaining the eternal character of the three bodies. Usually, instead of eternal, we say permanent characteristics of the three bodies.
Samjani Shavakara, Tatani, Shabatella, Tampa the Shabani Chicanos, and you Suju Tapi Quinzen Dundu, Sugutapi Quinzen Sumo, Sugutapi Quinzen Dunang, Sugutapi Quinzen Sum Che.
So there are 7 reasons as to why the form body is permanent or eternal, and 3 reasons as to why the Dhammakaya is permanent or eternal.
That is Zawala.
So that's verse 62. Called forth by the causes that are infinite, having an endless number of living beings to convert, possessed of mercy, miraculous power, knowledge, wisdom, and of the complement of bliss, means everything auspicious and perfect, governing all the elements, vanquishing the demon of death, and transcendental by nature, being without nature. The Lord of the world is eternal, permanent.
Sujuku, that launches to you go. Quite Chisim Chisiji Patu Navy, Sam Mishipi, and it's Tony to tie about on the song. Tony to tie about on the song, Yinzang, Sonam da Yishiji Soji to tie about on the song, Yinzang, and the Sujuku, the good quite Chisigi Patu Navy. Never.
Called forth by the causes that are infinite, referring to the Rupakaya, the form bodies, the form bodies, enjoyment body, which is the result of the total accumulation of the 2 types of marriage, then remains until the end of samsara.
Never, and it's ever meba, Sammy Shiba, Sarah. And so, this is called but never Sammy Shiba, the career, so Tony, you tie about the song in
So this form body is infinite, infinite because it is the result of the completion of the 2 types of causes, merit and wisdom. So that these completion of these 2 causes is what renders this form body to be infinite.
So that
is the meaning of the called forth by causes that are infinite. The reason why this form body of the Buddha remains until the end of samsara, without exhaustion, is because the number of the sentient beings is endless, countless, numberless, and so because of that, then that form body which fulfills the welfare of sentient beings then remains until the end of such a time.
아니 전체도 그 삼바지가 말아와 대매제와 대매제와 인상 다 지시 섬제 맞잡지 봐도 아니 저와도 인제 주바지 해야 되라 가서래 제단 추당 세든만 제당 세죠 제단 추당
so what what allows for this body to remain until the end of samsara, until until sentient beings is no more, like that. What allows for that to remain is the motivation of the loving kindness and compassion, so possessed of mercy and miraculous power. So these are the qualities that render them the capacity for remaining for infinite lengths of time for the benefit of endless number of sentient beings.
인자 코와 지식과 삼년이 된 잡으러 셰바게 아니 제와 대당 아니 니도 주주니가 주주니가 냠바 매바 인장 아니다 삼년 셰바 매바 신도 아니 뒤 가서 지식 코와 지식 삼년과 지식도 주구래 해야 돼 니도 냠바 매바 진짜 직거체.
So until the end of samsaric existence, what allows for these form bodies to remain benefiting sentient beings are these qualities of loving kindness, miraculous powers. These are the qualities that empowers them to remain for that length of time.
kendam pinzo den sede sheja chinye batada ngosumdu seishin chidawala mibi kemba ngawadang ani dungaji minebi ani samdaji dewa pusum chawada dambare ta sheja chinye batada ngosumdu seishin bingane chidawa kemba ngawaya
so
ani dungaji minebi samdaji dewa pusum chawada dambare.
And then in the root text where it says wisdom meaning knowledge, wisdom, and of the complement of bliss. So knowledge, wisdom refers to the exalted knowledge, knowing all objects of phenomena exactly for what they are, and as knowing all the varieties of phenomena, having that knowledge, and of the complement of bliss here refers to abiding in the joy of that meditative state of concentration, something the bliss of the abiding in that bliss of that concentration.
내가 관계왕도야 무조위 최저왕지 토비체르세 내가 관계양 아니 왕도 메tro와 저와 녀모 발라서와 내가 관계양 왕도 메tro위 아니 최저왕지 토비체르
최고왕주
최저왕주 나타치
governing all elements, vanquishing the demons of death, and transcendental by nature, the Lord of the world is eternal. So, what Chugwanchu, the Lord of the world here means that being totally free of the control of all failings and shortcomings, afflictions, and so forth. Being in that respect, is the Lord of the world.
뒤순송아 답이 수고답이 준전 세디 뒷부디 바제 든지 작은이나 많아 락사레 지수드네 삼미셰브 손이 규타야 방어도 소미치 그런 이체
so the 7 qualities, seven reasons for it to be eternal or permanent, this form body. The first being that it remains until the end of samsaric existence, and that it is the product of the completion of the 2 causes, Nietzsche.
The man was on that Tanga Jadam to the what is about some chance about Zawada knew to Juni, number maybe said it needed.
Zawada Zutul, and then the never degenerating loving kindness, possess of mercy, and miraculous powers are the 2 of them, so 4.
So
Rinpoche is just saying that he thinks it's like that. Then you count the others and make it 7. It's like it doesn't say specifically this is 1 and this is 2 and this is 3. It doesn't say, but Rinpoche thinks that this is how you count 7 of them. Like that, it's a little bit. As governing all elements, number 5, vanquishing Lord of Death, and transcendental by nature, 6, and the Lord of the world is 7th.
Chiwi di chum dang se ta niwa di tenda zhe dang jia che ta tenda di la chugu tabi jun zhen sumbo di men ro ta chugu tabi jun zhen dumbo di tu xia chi ba che chugu tabi jun zhen di men ro san du dang niwa
kati sungyo niwa kati niwa shulo kati
niwa chugu yaga da yaga chugu tabi jun zhen du yi tan da changa jia di che and then
the next is the 3 reasons for the Dhammakaya being eternal or permanent.
No, that is about the Chiju Wanju say Yaja. Chivi de Jumdan or Meji Jidan Gombe Dang said Della Chidagudi. Separate jump chitan, dish you are one. Chidago did a he be to the Nyamo be do it, says he. And in the chi di separate jump chitan.
Shulok had read that. 62. Structuring So then, and then in the Tibetan root text, the Lord of the world is mentioned first, and then vanquishing the demon of death comes later. So is second. So vanquishing the Lord of Death, that's one quality.
Oh yeah, that's it. Rashi ji chu ngo me ba rashi ji chu ngo me ba rashi de na vichir. Chuni rashi ji chu ngo me ba rashi ji tong ngo rashi ji me bo ngo re na vichir.
And that it is without nature, that it is without inherent nature. So.
Then and then
and being the Lord of the world, because infallible in relation to the disciples, in enabling the disciples' liberation, enlightenment, then being sort of infallible. So in that respect, being the Lord of the world. So these three are the reasons: vanquishing the demon of death, being without this inherent nature, and being the Lord of the world. 추구기 답에 교숨숭요 추구 롱고 추구숭요 갈숭
맞아 지단 뒤 가래서는 데려와다 가서래 전 구숨부 되게 답이 진짜 추구 답이 진짜 숨부 데려왔다 추구 답이 진짜 수구 답이 진짜 뒤에 아니 추구 답이 진짜 숨체
So these are the three reasons for the eternal characteristic or permanent characteristics of the Dhammakaya.
sabjala chena chugu tabi junja sum sungdu de chugu tabi junja de la chu koran tabadang longu da chugu sum la jagyu sare ra kusum tabi chabada da ba shewa chawo sidwa.
And so in this way in this way one should know that all of the three bodies, the Dhammakaya, the Sambhogakaya, and the Nirmanakaya have these have the eternal have the permanent characteristics. So now comes the expanded explanation of the two verses that we did.
아니 용서 준비 두당 아 삼전지 지단 아니 메도위 주 다 용서 준비 두텔라.
So sort of completely caring for the world of the sentient beings, never forsaking the world of the sentient beings. What are the causes for this? So these are the explaining in detail the expanded explanation of why the Rupakaya is eternal by these seven characteristics.
Oh yeah, that tela semjen jiden yongsu jimbam jiden jesu jimbi jutela. Da dini zawala lüda sojang longje nang dangne tamji jinji tang. Oh dimade.
So the causes for carrying the world of the sentient beings is giving up his body, his life, and his property. He has preserved the highest of doctrine. He administers help to all living beings and fully accomplishes his previous vows.
That tambo sami shiba unto songani. 다다진 얘가 집어와 또대나 제가 담보 수주고 고와 치수네 세미시바데 카레레 세미시바 온도 소마니 까와 참에 숨지 봐도 류당 소다 롱제남 아니 semjanji tumte chimba tangne.
So when we talked about earlier this form body, the Rupakaya, how it remains endlessly, infinitely until the end of samsara, so what are the causes for that? Is because of prior merits of giving up body, life, and possessions. It is the resources of all such merits that has made that has rendered the form body with such qualities.
我这里，你那说到龙卷呢，你当年他们去经济堂是的钱，但第一节了，七度桥话300没把得了，七度桥话300没把得了，什么讲滚了偏地去，唐不唐家太清气日，这个什么讲滚了，没打说，偏北气日，咋话的
？And then you have it in order to benefit sentient beings. 咋话的看什么讲？
什么讲滚了偏气气日，偏北气日，唐不唐家太清气日。
So, in order to benefit sentient beings, then he fulfills fulfilling the vows that was previously made.
那他们长久就是什么就被那个了，你什么讲他们家那没被长久了，我把鞋呢，你什么讲贵了偏北去，他们，你那没把要把养了把长久的我把的他们家把的，你太起码再不行。
So, when first generating bodhicitta, then making the vow or the commitment to place all sentient beings in the state of the unsurpassable, perfect and complete enlightenment, to render such a benefit for sentient beings. So, fulfilling the commitment of such vows of the past.
我谈3件年呢，3件归了偏北去，谈不谈家他进去3件年呢，掌握的他比土界差不多久，是这个，那这个西方就我配送错话的担保呢，那现在的他们家我西方的就我配送错话的担保呢，那3件年了，
他的早人。
掌握的，对他们家谈不谈家团结，那3件年掌握他的他们家他亲戚是亲戚说，他起码这么起的是，是吧？那天着我的了，西方就不送说话的担保是看他们家我的，你不送说话的担保得了，你3件年的掌握他，是3件年了，年度给300掌握，西周吉他呗，那考话其实盘就。
So, and then the verse 64. In verse 64, then what is expressed is the tamja kharsumati.
tamja la ngaju sheba la ngaju puzun sowa da damba.
Ngaju was na khasure.
La
ngaju was.
Ngaju was wang sheba de la wang du chuwa de chi. Ngaju was na.
So, and this verse 64 is like being in control, being in control of all those vows, meaning like having the power, having the control, all the control in the sense that having that power to fulfill those vows that one has made previously, having that kind of lordship, or having that control to fulfill those vows that one made in the past. So the Buddha thus makes manifest his commiseration, pure and immaculate, and shows his miraculous activity, which he applies in these acts, abiding eternally. So, pure and immaculate refers to having the quality of being free from the afflicted obscuration of afflictions, and immaculate referring to being free of the obscuration to omniscience.
3件年了，我现在看是3件年的掌握他，按你他比土界了就把西周的他比按你土界
So because of having abandoned the obscuration to omniscience, then you have this compassion or commiseration that extends until the end of samsara.
Juru kamba neba se ta sanje ki shenam dana ani samjang ki tu chisik ko chisik ba du shubi ani niba ngawa ki an juru ji kamba de juru ji kamba ni namba ni este sing bare
and shows his miraculous activity which he applies in his acts abiding eternally. So if the Buddha wishes, then if the Buddha so wishes, then he can engage in the miraculous activity of abiding until the end of samsara.
Oh, never ani turuji kamba shi ani tatu never
and so that these four types of miraculous activities then exists, abides eternally.
That's it. That's it. That is the Chegana, Tambo Soso Shepherd, and Tambo, Sugar, Nambola, didn't be Jew said the chair, Tamido, you said the man, didn't want to be Jew said the chair. Tamido said,
and then the next is what are the causes that does not allow them to forsake the world of the sentient beings.
So, Chamber Quota Yang and then you also did a Trovish.
Verse 65. Owing to his wisdom, he is free from the conception of samsara and nirvana as two entities.
Oh, that the land on your travel, that we never see. Chamber Quota Yang and then you also did a Trovish, said the Drivala. Chamber said the Sishi the Nongosum to Chamber.
So,
Sibakoa, the Shiwan Yang de Yandongosum the Chamber. Ani Kowadang Yangale Davi Tanisu Roa Koala Taji to Toja Batadang Ani Yandela Taji Toja Zimbagi Ani Tanisu Zimbala Trova Tadela Mambutia Ra and it Kowadang Yangale to the Tanisu Zimbala Trovich.
So, owing to his wisdom, this wisdom referring to the direct insight of the emptiness of true existence, he is free from the conception of samsara and nirvana. The direct realization of the realization of the emptiness of true existence of samsara and nirvana, and also you can also say that being free of the extreme of samsara and nirvana. So again, you can also sort of interpret extreme of samsara and nirvana from the perspective of regarding samsara as something to be completely abandoned at that extreme, and and nirvana as something ultimately to be attained, like that.
Ani dunga ji neba mebam mini bigi ani samde ji da pisun sawada dambe ani tadu sambar kawagi samye sedida dingi ji da pisun sawada dambe.
As he constantly partakes of the complement of bliss of the inconceivable concentrated trance, means the bliss of samadhi, partaking of the inconceivable bliss of samadhi.
Niwe shawandu mijodi 직대나 아니 섬전지天주비치 직대기 쪄봐 직대나니 쪄봐나 아니 직대비 치지 그와매 봐.
And so, whilst acting in this world is unaffected by the worldly and affected by the worldly elements. So, while engaged in the activities of the world, then not being tainted by them.
나들마 제가나 다 죽고다고 죽겠으면 좋아. 진짜 숨어디 생임보다
죽고다베.
죽고야가 지와 수고다베 진짜인데 요와 다 죽고다베 진짜 숨어디입니다.
사브레 두주레.
제와 샤워를 다시 도된 샤워를 와.
So 단대 숨어디 죽고다베.
근데 좀 이와한테 다 마용한테 쓰긴다.
단대 콘도 샤워.
그러면 수고다베 진짜도 보지 제와.
So this completes the how the form body is the reasons for the Rupakaya being eternal or permanent, and next is how the Dhammakaya, the three reasons for the Dhammakaya being eternal. Sawate shime shibene
답이 주지랍 주지 이수진을 trovichirisi.
shime shibene.
다데로지 이수진을 trovichi. 이수진을 trovichi. 다도 삼회 딩딩지 대화 비숨 초된 치르. 다도 삼회 딩딩지 동아 대화 비숨 초된 지시 동아지 미니비 삼된지 대화 비숨 초와단 댐베. 아니 다도 삼회지 딩딩지 대화 비숨 초와다 댐베.
That to something getting in
something you do person so what and
endowed with the perfect bliss of samadhi eternally.
That to some things the person so then said
yes. So here the root is as he constantly partakes of the complement of bliss of the inconceivable concentrated trance.
동아지 면이 비쌈된지 대화 비순 소화단 댐베 아니 다도 쌈된지 대화 비순 소화단 댐바레.
So not harmed by any kind of the faults of suffering, so he constantly partakes of the complement of bliss of the inconceivable concentrated trance.
직단 아니 줘봐나 직단 취주 건물주를 세워대 예위 샤왕도 무주데 직단은 내양 아니 직단은 내지 직단은 아니 직단이 다소 직단바 소스교라잖아요. 직단은 내나 직단지 안에 섬전비기 된 쳐봐 대잖아. 아니 직단이 취주 그와매 봐.
So
even
though remaining in the world to fulfill the objectives of this world, to benefit sentient beings, then not affected by the not affected by the worldly objectives.
나 대제나 추구답이 주승비디 니와 치다기도 사바르초비 준잔데라. 님음보다 시지 디비 초지 디비 치와 매바 시위내 토발라 치다기 디두와 매비칠 세가라 가서래 치미 시위내 도배 치단 두와 매비칠.
And then verse 6 onwards is then explaining that the three reasons for the Dhammakaya to be eternal. He has attained the state of immortality and quiescence, leaving no room for the activity of the demon of death.
님음보다 시르고 초지 치와 매바사들다 내니 좀 치와 매와당 아니야 가상하게 머리 바짝이 사다 사명이 레지왕의 치와 세대 시르고 뒤비 치와 되면 봐. 와 어때요?
So immortality, that which is gained by not being under the control of afflictions and obstruction to knowledge, or you can say immortality because not being under the control of death that is brought on by the grounds of the imprints of ignorance and uncontaminated karma. Therefore, the Lord, being of an immutable nature, is perfectly quiescent from the outset. So, therefore, the Lord, being of an immutable nature, referring to that empty nature of phenomena and abiding in that nature. So abiding in a constant state of equipoise in that suchness of phenomena being empty of empty by way of its own nature. So being in that state of constant abiding in that state of constant equipoise, the Lord, and even this kind of abiding in a constant equipoise in emptiness is also empty by way of its own nature. And then verse 67, thus eternal, he is fit to be a refuge for the helpless and the like. So here, thus eternal, he is fit to be a refuge for the helpless and the life. A refuge for the world, because of the two causes. That there is a need to protect, need to grant refuge, and having the capacity having the capacity for that refuge. The sentient beings need to be protected from suffering or delivered from suffering, and having the capacity to liberate or deliver sentient beings from suffering. The first 7 of these motives show the eternal character of the Rupakaya forms, and the subsequent 3 demonstrate the eternity of the Dhammakaya body.
당부 이니 규된데 수지 고이 다니데 치마 숨지 때만이 최주 고이 다바니 라 대자와디체
So that's the Rinpoche read the same thing. The first 7 of these motives show the eternal character of the Rupakaya, the form bodies, and the subsequent 3 demonstrate the eternity of the truth body, Dhammakaya.
당부인이 공도 시아바기 균전 균이 아니 수고 답이 되는데现在 第一次 진짜 치마 숨지 때만이 추구 답이 되는데 아니 시대 아니 단다데 가르세 아니데 추구 답아니 당분 규디 수고 다니 치마 숨지 때만에 최주구에 답아니 나유 미지 된담 치디치 하나 아니 딜라 다야게 되라 내가 그 좋아라 팬들이 집이 좀미사 봐라 다바 송지 주바랑 당하려면 됐다 뒤져봐야 돼 좋아라 팬들 집이 아니 딥답다다서들 파디에서 말해 다바랑 있어리 데이터다서 좀 다발라오 다다를 봐요 말이 비비 담도 어디 내가 그 팬들 집이 주 샘미셔봐야 다바를 마도 주바랑 다바 말에 스타티점체.
So it just says that when we talk about these the reasons for it being permanent, it's permanent, eternal with respect to its propensity for rendering well-being and benefit for mankind, for sentient beings, for migrators. In that respect, it is eternal and permanent, not a permanent with respect to something existing autonomously and independently, not that way. So then explaining the qualities of how it is inconceivable, qualities of inconceivable with regards to the 2 bodies.
Mayu Miji Tendam Chidi Chil, Dona Miji Bella Devi Chil, Lana Miji Sishi Mati Chil.
So unutterable, representing the ultimate truth, inaccessible to constructive thought, and incomparable, being the highest point of perfection, being the highest point of perfection.
Achugu, Rava, Chasu, Dela, Dandakase, Mayu Minjiris, Mayu Miji Tendam Chidi Chil, Serigana, Yandaba Zove Sanja Mai Be Kasa Namji, and Maliba Musum Gisam to Mede, Dotu Zovi Tuchi, Ni Jetume, Dotu Zovi Tuchi, Jetume Bare.
So, unutterable because, no one can express it in the manner in which a Buddha expresses it. A Buddha's omniscient mind then knows all and knows exactly, knows all without exception and knows exactly all, directly knows everything without exception, directly knows exactly all phenomena. And so the way a Buddha's gnosis, knows phenomena, it knows it in a complete manner. And so it is, this phenomenon is utterable only in the case of a Buddha, and unutterable in other respect, in relation to others. So this is referring primarily to the Dhammakaya, or the absolute truth.
Mayu Minji Hasanam Muslim Sandu Mebe, Toto Jedu Mebi Chidi. That Jedu Mede 저도 매대 제매 된다면 인치로 바로 왔다네 왔다야 그러와 된다 돈내면 그러와
돈내면
된담지 뒤위치 저도 매대 된담지 뒤위치 아유미다 밤을 좀 받고 그도 대로와 저도 매대 된담 인비치
So inexpressible because it is an ultimate truth.
된담인데 가서 된담인데 아니 된담인데 제매 된담 인치로서 다야가 등기도 안에 다야 배대 등기로와 제매 된담 인치로 다 된담인데 말려봐 또가 위 다봐 또가 위에 다봐 저 많이 미칠 세가라当面解把全面吃가서 된담大家민치 때 된담大家민치 때 안자와 진이 하요래 자바 가실 하요래 근데 대용그리 아 추구 다바니 아유 미지 된담 귀되지 또내 미지 빼라 대비치 라나 미지 시시 메되지 교육 판반 남지 삼미 찹 시도와 다디 내가 좀 그래 양다바 조비 상제 많이 비 가사 남지 무슨지 섬도 매봐 세대라 아유 미지 된담 귀디 질 또내 미지 빼라 대비치 세대 얼마 등그 있어야 상도 대문도 말대로 섬도 매비 또서 조비 취디 저도 매비 치르체大了没多，提军在没，马来大了要说的，大不上级没叫我大把在了，带都看见都爱他下，古时上级没叫我军战出给困难，成为唐伯，苏国上级没叫为军战当，苏国上级没叫为军战，你都得他下或的。
So she left out the outline where it says the reasons why the Dhammakaya is inconceivable and the reasons as to why the Rupakaya is inconceivable.
上届就故事啦，上届没叫为军战出穷为修古党，安尼龙古党，主故事啦，上军战出这个唐伯啊我的啦，修古上届没叫为军战党，出不的修古上届没叫为军战的一切，是大家他想的。
Usually we say that the three bodies of the Buddha they are inconceivable because of these six reasonings. So, of these six reasons, the first five are reasons as to why the Dhammakaya is inconceivable, and the last sixth reason is the reason as to why the Rupakaya is inconceivable. Of course, within the Rupakaya you have the Sambhogakaya and Nirmanakaya.
他这个他把我提了，长毛六万叫80个，我送个就有的就有，故事不提，哇，三节80个我送的具备，俺的长毛680个我送的具备，故事不提，秋古龙古主故事不提，他的前辈长久三把8把nam就讲3级没得的，到处作为出击，俺的太大个有名被吃，对啦。
So its nature is so innumerable that it can be only known solely by a Buddha. Only a Buddha knows it directly. Even the Arya Bodhisattvas cannot comprehend it.
但这个军战啦。 多数左边自己有没被军战的啦？俺那团他们就对不起。
So
做秋果，两下个没把人被吃。
So why is it known only to a Buddha's consciousness? Why? Because it is an ultimate truth, and it is known in its entirety only by an enlightened mind, and because it is an object of a mind of equipoise.
아니, 뒤균전 아니 치지로 그 도배
So because of these reasons, then it could not be an object of a mistaken consciousness. Because it is an object of the focal object of an equipoise, so it cannot be an object of a mistaken consciousness like that of the consciousness grasping at true existence. Inaccessible to constructive thought, and you cannot sort of comprehend or realize it on the basis of some illustration on the basis of some example. Using an example, you cannot realize it. So the reason why you cannot realize it by the use of any kind of illustration or example, or the reason why you cannot realize it on the basis of some sign or mark, is because it relates neither to the phenomenal world nor to the Hinayanistic nirvana. The sphere of Buddhahood is inconceivable even for the yogi.
자주선바 파파남지 아니 수고스 대리나 아니 장바기 아니 농공무선도 수주공무선도 미기도 와스 아니 소소지의 강장장 아니 초고주고 미기도 와스 언제 대다당 아니 미와데 무슨도 주와대당 가로세나. So
then the question comes, then does this not contradict the fact that you have Arya Bodhisattvas who are able to see the enjoyment body, the Sambhogakaya, see it directly for themselves, and ordinary sentient beings who are able to directly perceive the supreme emanation body? Does this not contradict with these facts?
아니 되게 진짜인데라. 나나 미시 시시 마두치 세대 임바다. 나는 무슨 이바서 소소 기회당 무슨도 잡아당 가로세나 무슨도 민매지 또 그래도 스바타당 대한 스바타 스비타당 시비타 마두신 대니니 오데 시시타 마두 말로마레스 시시타 말로마레 시시타 차와 가서 대한 시시 대리 말자 대한 시비타당 시비타 마데비 미네비 양아란 대비 당이 이비지 삼지 미자고 스타 에 최소고 고니오데 아니 미네비 양아란 대비 당이 임바데 아니 삼지 미자바레 또 두고 말에
the reason why the truth body and the form bodies of the Buddha is because it is beyond something beyond beyond the state of nirvana. So it is inconceivable. Cannot be realized. 추수군이
오지. 아니 가서 시시 탐미네비 양아라 때문에 다니래. 시바 코알라 말데 시완 양아라 미대비 아니 양대기 다니이베.
Because it is because the true Buddha bodies, the truth body and the form body, are beyond samsara and nirvana.
다 대자고. 다 대주 사서 전주 잘 좀어서.
So we stop here for. So go ahead.
Shloka 46.
46.
I think it's the fact that the sphere of reality, this Dharma doctrine, is existing by its own nature. This is the object of knowledge of that particular yogic practitioner. That's ultimate absolute, that's Vibhavakaya. Did he say that's accessible to the introspection of that yogi? Does that mean that's the object? That ultimate absolute, that's Vibhavakaya, is the object of a subjective consciousness of the knower? I think, and maybe I'm wrong. Rinpoche said, this sphere of reality, this Dhammadhatu, is empty, not existing by its own nature. This is the object of knowledge of that particular yogic practitioner. Glossing that stanza. That's Vibhavakaya. That's
the Taran Shokegi Moni ku call Chiksunya Chura. Moni call that Moni call this Kazak Chig doctor reset, the Moni go to Tony de Shul Sawa de Shibdin Resata de Qualegina.
Sawa Karese? Chimatan Sujiku.
Time and number top meta Neljor Namji Yulmenchir Chuni Chuying Nigi ni Tabechina herself.
Just a what? Did what? Such
National Yulmenchir said.
Any Karesi? The color Chota Karado with that.
The deal decision was Tordana.
Then did Kasatawa de Karese.
Timmy number top meta.
Chuni number Domedan.
Timmy
Ranshiji. And it has a Ranshiji number Tabana, and it came on the Basigari. Timmy.
So, stainless, referring to being free of the stains of the natural defilements. To me, and number top meba.
Number top meba, top meba.
And then means free. This being realized by a non-conceptual mind, meaning a mind which is free of the grasping at true existence. Najon namji yulmenchers.
Chuni ranshiji number taba de nanjowa mayinbagi kasa shenji yumare siyaji.
So saying that this object, which is the Dhammadhatu, which by nature is pure, is the object of knowledge, object that which is realized only by the yogi and by none others.
And it is an object that's realized, and there's a realizing subjective.
And chuni di tongne di nejo ba chiyor vasa. Chuni di tongne, chuni number taba tongne ki nejo ba chiyor vasa. Nejo ba chiyor vasa. Yes.
What is that the knower we were asking about yesterday?
Di rangri dirves gore. Kesa shegi rangri di da joy.
Don't you want some to be shitty?
And this, the exalted knower that directly knows emptiness. The knower that directly knows emptiness can also be called, a self-knower. That knows the the emptiness and also the subjective consciousness.
Nelly?
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, this is just, I think, a simple question. Rinpoche mentioned when he was talking about the Nirmanakaya descending from Tushita, the impure Tushita and the pure Tushita. Is the pure Tushita considered a part of the desire realm or form realm?
Juzun chamba kombo yose ta ganden chiarwa. Di ganden di ganden di dekamna tsigre sukamna tsigre sa.
다 간된 그 콩수 토와르만도 마다비 대마레스 마다비 신마레스 컴신부도 마다바체 마다비 콩수도 마다기 다니와르 코랑 마다비 신마레스
다 디샹 화샤그레 데kam나 샤그레.
기단 영감근 하세
Generally, you would say that it is of the desire realm, but it's not of the impure kind. But it's not impure. If you say of where is it of the three realms of existence, you have to say it's in the desire realm, but it's not an impure realm.
And the last, I think, 3 or 4 realms of the fourth Dhyani is usually considered also pure lands. What's the difference between those two present?
In the form and the
In the form realm and the fourth Dhyani, usually
something shiveni kap sujarwa.
something shiva mari
Meme. Di dinde su ta sukam da sume ke te something shiva jarwa. Dinsu yang da tasa tsigresa.
다섯 지금 뭐 저거 마다비 신래 감순 콩으로 봐 순감 수면 강가 마다비
something shiva da dinsu ganga mata beshin. Those are all impure realms. You know, all of
so
all.
Chen, other these pure realms are pure desire realm?
Dewa chen ge shingam siya din
내가 감순 콩 말에
di gandene kamsun kung mare.
간단히 다 감순이 난게 나이나 영감기 간단기 가서래 총라 건비추디 요와 인자 코 영감기 마다비 신기 띄워지 말이야 영감 콩수요래
Just said, the Pure Lands are not considered as part of the 3 realms. And then again, I asked the same question. Then, with regards to the Tushita realm, Rinpoche said that it's like it's a distance away, like how a monastery is away from a city. It's a distance away from the worldly Tushita, and that Tushita. Maitreya's Tushita, that is not regarded as an impure realm of existence.
아니
Small one, and I'm not sure how to ask it.
슈가래 아
Sumja Yachukyagu,
숨자지 자고 야
389.
From the bottom, 6 lines.
Wone Zibanani Yigdan Tupe Kode. Wone Sumja Yachukyagu Wogi Yigdan Netsina 2. Yigdan 2 Konde.
가래도 그다 야 답이 투지라고 주지 아니 들어야지 야 가래다 가세 다와 참여선도 인지 첨부 공부 타두배 아니 투지 첨부 답이 균등이 제부 제부 무슨 타팀이 자주 선반 남당 세가라 아니 롱고 코드 집에 자주 선반 아타 그래서 나와 롱고 코드 집 찬스 선반당 다 균에 아니 무슨 손사들 롱고 된적이 아니 코랑 그 코를 그 찬스 바바 대달라만도 말한 저 직전 숨기 아니 롱고 자용 무슨 자유 가와매 봐 인장 Junior region Sunga, any drove turn Jimmy Chappy Chidang, Michabi Chidang, the any Java Jimmy Chappy Tambare.
My question is why, indirectly, why the Bodhisattva is included? And why is it between Sum? Why isn't it that
Which verse are we talking about? In the verse 49. Last two lines of verse 49. And verse 49. Being the natural outflow of purest commiseration, it works uninterruptedly for the weal of all that lives. Rinpoche was just saying that earlier, arising out of that compassion, then you have the accumulation of the merit, and out of the resource of those merits, then that Sambhogakaya enjoyment body, then fulfilling the welfare of sentient beings, of the explained this morning, like of the three types of lineages, those who are of temporary of the hearer's lineage, solitary realizer's lineage, and Mayana lineage, in accordance with their intentions, then teach the appropriate manifestation and appropriate dharma. It's that part, and so dik negapsu chuadele Richin sum su goya kibzek hayena richin chik suna dik doan soritin.
Tuen tayu de richin sum yorwa. Yandu kot deba mindawa sum. Yandu jirikchen, ranja jirikchen, tijin jirikchen sum.
Because the question is because usually you say the Sambhogakaya has as a direct object of benefit only bodhisattvas. So why three types? Isn't that yeah. So the thing is that generally speaking, you have these three types of beings to benefit, and so for that reason.
Yes, right.
Did you get that? That's. Doba khangre lenre chaba.
Doba lenre yorwa. Yandu chanju tenye gudi. Ani chanju kansa chik. Ani ranja ki chanju tenye giri. Ani jirikchen chik. Ani tijin ki chanju tenye giri jirikchen sum yorwa yinzang. Ten sum bochi ki ten che gore. Ten sum ji ten che bichi tambo tu jewa yinzang ten che gore. Tango su ten che ki konzo kawa yorwa mari. Tango su ten che di chansen papa sanya ki chanju senpa teta ki la chungo su teni ten che. Yune, ane rikchen sumka ki ten roi ten che go mari se. Ni ruju na zoba tenpi kone. Teni druwa na zo choku chuku naba ten che.
So, she pretty much said the same thing in the sense that you have individuals of these three types of lineages. The heroes who seek a hero's enlightenment, a solitary realizer who seeks the solitary realizer enlightenment, and those that seek the Mayana enlightenment. And so, in accordance with having generated the bodhicitta, then they enact the deeds benefiting sentient beings of these three types of lineages. And so the direct object of their benefit are the Mayana, are those beings of the Mayana lineage, but indirectly then they benefit the beings of the hero's lineage and the solitary realizer's lineage through their supreme emanations.
So that's my question. So indirectly it lists all three. It says, you said just Shravakampadeka Buddha, but in the text it says you can assume the three. So in my mind then comes this implication that there may be some bodhisattvas or some in the Mahayana lineage that don't directly benefit from the Sambhogakaya form. So it just seems strange to say Sum. I don't get why Sum. Further indirectly. Because am I wrong in thinking that in Mahayana
directly musu pentasa de chanju samba che
我是去强生爸爸，我是去松山的强生爸爸啊。有人，俺你看着在那判多个在那，主办那时候代表过呢，俺你提前对这里就送了去中国的吧。
Because no, because it says indirectly benefiting the sentient beings of the three types of lineage. So Thomas' question was, why not just say 2 instead of 3? Because you're anyway directly benefiting the Mayana lineage. So,
So is that the point? That's
yeah, the question. Frank, the Shekara Jabres, Richard Sums, Richard Sumsum, Gunze Kadas, the Chanson Papa Mayimbe, any chance Casre, teaching Richin Union is a 10,000, Richard Sumsum rest.
Ah, 可是，还是爸爸满意没？
Mata, Chita, the Longjuzo, Kudi, Mus Pendas, this Chanson Papa
我
can.
是他强去松山的强生爸爸满意。
Now, Chanson Papa, and June Pentas, Richard Sum, Richard Sum Neta, Niranda Dajum in Shashache. That's Nira in Bache. The Sumba.
以前以前的了，其实做几样的话，你提前爸爸的做几样的，他
They love how they love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
啊你
Okay, go ahead.
啊，开始考完顿，以色列开始顿的话，
Yeah. Say.
Will the emanation
哦，蛮是。
in the form of an animal or an insect, or is that too low around to?
The Sangegi Tube Kula, any Tundulu Buddha, Tundulu Lu Cheni.
没做过的事是吧？
Yes.
领导300年就进了是吧？
La.
首先他随便看一眼，做也做过的事，长生爸爸做了有的事。
The Buddhas can emanate as animals with form, without form. For that matter, even Arya Bodhisattvas can also manifest as such. Okay.
Yeah. 他继续。
Yeah.
Quickly list the
Quickly list the.
the last shloka we did of the characteristics of immutability.
Inconceivable, which one? Dhammakaya?
Or go tomorrow. You do it first thing in the morning.
Okay. Sani chik tanda sammi keva yimbe jumse tusha ra. Tanda chugu kuda sukuku di tupu di chirere che sani suno na asong. So the request was put forward already for tomorrow.
Yeah. 西北极出现没到当日的人心，俺这心中面对不我也着，所以当古鲁